Hey everyone, we are live.
Hello, welcome back everybody to Conscious and Connected during COVID-19. And just a reminder, this is a collaboration between and myself, Jennifer Carey, and we are bringing people and their gifts to everyone during this time to help you get through what strange and uncertain times we're in right now. And I'm going to turn it back over to Dana to introduce our wonderful guest today.
So I had the privilege of meeting JP just honestly a few months ago, but it seems like a lifetime ago because everything changed literally days after we had a chance meeting. So we met at the Mind Valley Live event at the end of February, right before everything started shutting down. So we both made it back like within days before that started to happen. And JP has a really incredible story that I hope he'll share with us today. So I'm going to just start and dive right in, JP, and ask you, who are you? What is your story in under 5 minutes?
Oh, that's a good question, right? First of all, thanks for having me on. That's a great question, and it seems like it should be followed by right now because
Oh,
it's always changing, right?
Mhm.
So let me start really at the beginning. Um, I'm 40 years old, and I guess the first 40 years of my life, I was pretty much asleep. And I guess, okay, so I grew up in a family. I have one sister, and our parents got separated when we were young. I think I was like 7 or 8. And I guess single mom trying to raise two kids is not the easiest thing. And we grew up in Toronto, and um, we, I guess, we kind of, I kind of fell in with the wrong people, and I was a pretty bad little kid when I was younger. Um, and then I guess I grew up right after high school. I joined the city as a garbage man, and I worked there. Everything was great. I had the best job. I'm outside all day, suntan, getting a workout, and everything was great. And I was actually training to be a supervisor. They were putting me through all the courses. I had maybe 2 courses left, and I had this back pain. I kept having it for a couple of years. I would go to the doctor, get X-rays. She would give you some pills, and nothing would get rid of this back pain. I just thought it was from my job. So I just kept going back to the doctor and saying, something's wrong. Like, this isn't normal, right? And so they did an MRI, and we found out there was a tumor in my spine. Thankfully, it was not cancerous. But so I had surgery, a laminectomy in maybe 2010. And after the surgery, things just progressively got worse. The pain got worse, and it started out taking maybe 2 or 3 pills. Here you go, take a pill, and that will make you feel better. And eventually, you get more. Nothing was working. I did radiation on my back. It stopped the tumor from growing. And every 6 months, I have to do an MRI. And eventually, I was up to 33 pills a day. And I don't know. I'm sure you guys know about it, but like it literally takes away your soul. Not only they say it takes away the pain, it didn't take away the pain, but it took away my soul. Um, I guess the neuroplasticity effect, like just waking up, being in pain, thinking about it, talking about it. Oh, my back hurts. I would say that so many times a day, and it just reinforces the whole idea that you actually are in pain, right? And doctors would say it was in your head, but they wouldn't explain it to me what that meant. I'm like, no, it's in my back. So anyway, I guess around um, 2015, I had my first son, Jameson. He's about to turn 6 next week. And sorry, 2014. How bad is that? And then I guess when he was turning 5 last year, I kind of said, like, I can't do this for the rest of his life. I would wake up in pain. I'd be miserable all day. I couldn't move. I was in a mobility scooter. And I said, I'm not doing this anymore. And so slowly I just said, I'm going to get rid of one of these batches of pills. I think it was called gabapentin. I was taking 9 of them a day, and I couldn't get them for like 4 or 5 days for some reason. And so after that time, I was like, I'm not really that much in much more pain than I already am. So I decided, you know what, let's stop taking this pill. And after a couple of weeks, I actually did start to feel better. So then I said, let's get rid of all of them. So slowly, between me and my pain specialist or pain doctor, we slowly got rid of them one by one until around June last year, it was the last of the pills that were gone. And so around the middle of June, I'm like, oh, I feel great. I haven't done anything for the last 10 years, but I'm going to start running. So I started running around the track near our house, and I felt great for the first couple of days. But then my knees started hurting because, yeah, I haven't done anything for 10 years, right? So anyway, it was also like once that time came, it started like a spiritual awakening inside me. I don't know how to explain it, but I've been reading about steps of spiritual awakening, and right now I'm at the 6th step, which is crazy because every step is like, yep, that's exactly what happened. But
Wow.
so then I just decided, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore. I lowered the volume of my pain. Joe Dispenza, I know you guys know who he is. That was the biggest thing that changed it. Just all it takes sometimes is someone to say something that different, right? And I think what he said was like, um, in a world of knowledge, like having not having the information is a choice. And I decided to start learning, and all the things I've learned have just helped me to continue to grow. And now, like this morning, I ran for 30 minutes straight on the treadmill.
Wow.
Yes.
And no pain.
The pain is there sometimes, not as much, but I can, it's almost like a trick. I know my brain's playing with me, right? Like, so around last October, there was one time where I went in the gym and I'm like, I'm turning 40. I'm going to run for 40 minutes straight. So I started at 30 minutes and 31. I would add a minute every day. And then one day my knees were sore again. I limped into the gym, literally limped into the gym. And I'm like, I'll just walk. Even if I can't run today, I'll just walk. It's better than nothing. So I started walking for like a couple minutes. I'm like, I'm not going to be able to do 40 minutes of walking. I'll just do 5 or 10. And then I just said, forget it. I'm just going to start running. And I don't know, I kind of like meditated and went away from, I was at the gym, but I went away somewhere else in my mind. And I ran for 38 minutes straight after limping into the gym. And I was just like, wow, it's crazy that the way your brain works trying to trick you. And I could do that, right? And if you asked me, or if you said, I'll give you $1,000 if you could do this that day, I would have said, no chance, I can't do it. And I did it anyway. So it's kind of like you prove to yourself that you're capable of way more than you think or you've been conditioned to. And yeah, conditioning was the worst. I grew up as a victim, right? My whole life. That's exactly what's the difference between the first 40 years and now is I was always a victim. Everything around me and everyone else. And it's just conditioning, but I was a victim. And now I'm a creator now.
Love it.
Thank you, JP, for sharing with us some of your story. It's really inspiring, truly. And you're a creator now. I love that phrase.
Victim versus creator. Yeah. And how the limitations are in our minds. Well, with all of that in mind, JP, how have you been getting through this time? How have you been getting through the past couple of months? Is there anything that you've added to what you've been doing since June to get through
time, this? It's the time where everyone says, I don't have time to do this, or I don't have time. Now you have all the time in the world, right? So there's a bunch of things, right? We got to keep instilling new habits, learning. Learning is the biggest thing. Every day I wake up, I read for at least an hour. Meditation definitely helps. And it's almost like everything I learned over the last year was preparing me for this unknown thing that was about to happen to the entire world. Yeah, there's a lot of new things happening, right? So learning, I started, I do like every day a little bit of biographics where I'll just learn about somebody and just, the deal with like learning new things will make new neural pathways in your brain. So I try to learn stuff that I don't know anything about. There's so many things. Like I'm playing with my kids this time I have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old, and this time is like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy that we have this time because they're 5 and 3, they don't know what's going on. But the time that mommy and daddy are going to be here and playing with you, and you can't buy that time, right? So there's that. There's one thing, like it's not just about doing things and learning new things, it's also about stopping other things like media. Like I'll tune into the news maybe for 5 minutes every other day, but I really don't need to see how many people died, right? Like that's the only thing they're talking about, and it's pure fear tactics, and I'm not buying into it. But yeah, um, there's just so many things that we've been doing. We started making YouTube videos with the kids because they're always wanting to do it. So we started making these YouTube videos, and a trampoline the kids got from Santa. Oh, I didn't know. I never had a trampoline when I was a kid, but it is fun. Yeah, I'm not. There's so many things.
Yeah, so it sounds like reading, learning, spending time with family. It seems like those are the big things, but learning something different, studying about someone's life. You're just taking advantage of the time to grow and to create new pathways in your brain.
Yeah, big time. Um, I've got like I started learning, WordPress. So I started learning how to use WordPress websites and just the e-commerce aspect of it, and a lot of different things. I started taking an online business course, and just another thing right now is a great time that people are giving away course material for free. Like at the very beginning, the first week of this, I took a course. I don't know if you guys know who Tucker Max is from Scribe Book Writing, but he has a course that he charges $5,000 for that he's giving away for free right now, which is unbelievable. He's gonna get his money back. Good for him. He should. But it's just this is the time where people are like, well, we're not making money. Might as well just give it away to people. And so the opportunities are there right now to learn pretty much anything you want.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also hearing, in addition to your learning, you're taking time, which it goes a little bit into the interview with Ali we did last time about tapping back into this childlike wonder, into this space of play and levity, because so much of at least this experience that for many of the people we've interviewed has been about bringing these two things together, this productivity, which is going to be different now in this pandemic, but also with this play. And so I'm hearing that also. And so JP, we want to leave enough time for your gift that you're going to share with our audience. So please, yes, it's all yours.
Before we do that, I just want to say one other thing was I just thought of this morning while I was running, but you guys are conscious and connected. And I have another two CCs, which are compassion and contentment. The compassion that I've felt during this period for just so many different aspects and people of life, like things that you'll never even think of, is like overwhelming. And contentment, this book back here, there's Wayne Dyer book that I think I was telling you about, Dana. Change your thoughts, change your life. Today, the lesson it was in the Tao was about contentment and being content with your life.
Yeah.
And if you can't be content right now, when you don't have the pressures of a 9 to 5 or just whatever daily craziness that happens, then you need to start. But my gift, okay, it's a game, it's a challenge. You can call it whatever you want. I think we've heard the same. It's called My Five. I made it up, but we've all heard. I think Jim Rohn said it. You become the 5 people that you hang out with the most. And Robin Sharma, he says, I think he's quoting Harvard science, but he says it takes 66 days to install a new habit. So between those two, My Five is a game or a challenge that is designed to install new habits. And what it is 12 minutes a day. You pick 5 categories or 5 people, and you study them. So let's say Joe Dispenza, study him for 12 minutes every day. So then the 5 people, that's 1 hour. So 1 hour a day. And after 66 days, you're going to install the habits of those kind of people. If you want to learn about money, follow the people who make money. If you want to be a motivational speaker, listen to Tony Robbins for 12 minutes a day. So I have a list of people or categories that we could go through just if people are not having the ideas. But I just wrote down like biohacking, exercise, weight training, running, yoga, tai chi, meditation, organized religion, health, vitality, eating healthy, neuroscience, endocrinology, epigenetics, physiology, psychology, history, language, geography, personal growth, inspiration, diet, biology, chemically, space and stars. That would be Neil deGrasse Tyson, I think. Podcasts, business leaders, music, mental chatter, so many things. Universe, Greg Braden comes up to mind. Spiritual and quantum physics and anything else that you guys enjoy or anything you want. But take 5 people, study them every day for a couple months, and watch how your life changes.
Wow.
Wow. So that's the idea. So 5 people, and it sounds like 5 people within the 5 categories that you choose. And then what was the time? You said 12 minutes. Do you read about all 5 people in those 12 minutes, or it's 12 minutes for each category?
12 minutes for each category. So just basically,
Okay.
it's like an hour a day. And it doesn't have to be 5 different categories. Like if you're feeling like you need more spiritual connection right now, then study 2 people from that category, right? And yeah, just a little cool game made up because I've been doing this the last year, and it's almost kind of like you, not that you become those people, but you bring those aspects into your life, and then yeah, it's definitely great for personal growth.
I love it.
The amount of change you've been able to undergo in a year, right? From being in a motorized scooter, taking 33 pills a day to now none and running. And you did it through this method of just like expanding, it sounds like, your consciousness by reading about all these various aspects and people. And JP, if someone doesn't have an hour, what would you think of just starting with one for 12 minutes?
100%. And my idea behind the 12 minutes is just to make it an hour, but I guarantee you that once people start doing it, like they'll dive into somebody for 12 minutes, they'll do 20 minutes and maybe 30 minutes of that one. And yeah, no, for sure. Just start anywhere, right? Learn one new thing. Like one of the first things I did last year when I started waking up was Isaac Newton, and I forgot the other one, but I was just like, watch a biography for an hour and a half about Isaac Newton, something I've never done or had any interest. It's crazy. I used to be a pure sports guy and followed my teams, and now I don't even watch sports.
But you watch Isaac Newton, right? Like,
yeah.
Okay. I love it. I love the structure that because it makes it like you can grasp it more, right? If you think about all that you love and that you want to learn from, it can be overwhelming and daunting. But the way you've broken it down, it's like, yeah, I can do that. I can totally do that.
Yeah, everyone has 12 minutes now. Or an hour a day. Everyone has an hour a day right now. And like it could be even when you go back. Sorry, even when you go back to normal life, simple things like taking a podcast while you're driving somewhere, right? Instead of listening to the radio and there's an accident on I-95. Oh, let's listen to a podcast, download them, or yeah.
And even if 60 minutes feels daunting, though, people probably could find that at this moment, 12 minutes is possible. And I'm curious, before we end, JP, what are the 5 areas you're currently focusing in on?
So it's crazy. So that one book I was telling you about over here, Wayne Dyer. So he's one of my teachers, and the book is about the Tao Te Ching. So right there's Lao Tzu and Wayne Dyer in one. The other book I just finished this morning was Mandela's biography. I'm doing 2 Mind Valley quests right now, Sri Kumar Rao and Dennis Waitley. So there's 2 more. I have a Robin Sharma book on my bedside table, which is like daily inspiration. You wake up and read that book. Is that 5? That's 5, yeah. There's more, but that's 5.
Thank you so much, JP. I'm honestly taking this and running with it. I was already like, okay, gardening.
Exactly, right?
A healthy eating, like all the things that I'm always thinking I want to know more about and learn, I'm going to put it into this algorithm, and I thank you for that.
Yeah. One new thing I did this week is adding a new recipe because I find we're eating the same foods over again. I actually gained so much weight over this little period, but we're eating the same meals over and over.
15.
So this week we're doing a new recipe.
Which recipe?
It's on the board over there. What is it? I don't even know. It's on the board. I wrote out a menu too because I always want to do these recipes and cook, and I find we're not eating as healthy as we should be. So I actually wrote out a chalkboard of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. This is our meals.
Love it. You're speaking my language, JP. Between the whiteboard and the cooking and the meal planning, you just went right to my heart right now.
JP, thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing your spirit and your formula with us. It's again just incredible what you've done in 1 year. It's going to. Yes. I'm grateful to call you a friend, so I can continue to see how you exponentially grow.
Yeah, very inspiring in that short time. That's so true.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
All righty. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.